Welcome. I'm Peggy O'Neill. Welcome to today's live learning, how to listen to yourself. So we're going to talk about what that means as well, yourself. If you are here live, please say hi in the comments. And if you have any comments or questions while we're together, please put them in the comments. I will answer them. And if you're watching this on replay, please put hashtag replay in. As you know, I love knowing you watch the replay. And if you have any questions or comments, put them in and I will get back to you. So, again, I'm Peggy O'Neill. I'm the founder of Answering the Call, a Facebook group where we explore that call, that longing. It's really grace inviting us to come home to ourselves, that longing to feel more fulfillment, to know meaning and purpose. All of that is a call to return back to ourselves and discover our essential nature, which is the one being, that we are one with, well, technically we're not one with everything because we are one, but it's hard to speak about it accurately. And then once we know who we truly are, then a sense kicks in a different way where we feel inspired to want to live this knowing in our own unique way. And that's the second aspect of answering the call, is discovering what is that? How do I want to live in alignment with who I truly am? All right, so let's get started with, because today was useful for all of that, how to listen to yourself. So we're going to explore what it means to listen to yourself when you know that you're one being. So I'll make a distinction about how if we don't know that, the difference in how we listen to ourselves. How to distinguish between thoughts that are conditioned and those that are not, and the value of listening to yourself. So what does it mean to listen to yourself when you're one being? Well, when we believe we're separate, as does 99.99% of the people on this planet, when we believe we're separate, then we're going to probably listen to our thoughts and think that that is listening to ourselves. When our thoughts come out of nowhere, they're not who we are. They come out of nowhere just like clouds in the sky. And so they're not who we are. And yet most of us listen to them, pay attention to them as if they say something about ourselves that's true, about reality that's true. No, that's not what those thoughts are doing. So we actually don't want to listen to those thoughts, especially if they're saying anything about this self that most people think they are. If the thoughts say anything personal about who we are, what we should or shouldn't do, anything like that, we don't want to pay any attention to them. So listening to ourselves when we know we're one being means that we don't listen for thoughts. We don't really. So I used to think that if I paid attention to my body, my emotions as well as thoughts, but that I would have a sense from my body. Oh, if that felt good, that meant I was going in the right direction. Or if my body felt excited or energized, that meant I was going in the right direction or giving some sort of guidance. The odds of that are pretty low because our body and our emotions are conditioned just like the thoughts are. So they're pretty unreliable as far as a guiding system of any sort, as far as listening to ourselves. So then what does one do if you're not listening to your thoughts, your body, your emotions? Then it's a knowing feeling. So right now, if I asked you, do you exist? You'd say yes, and that's a knowing. You didn't have to look for it. You didn't have to look up the answer. You didn't have to look for a thought. There wasn't a body feeling. It was just a knowing. When you know an answer to a question, 2 + 2 = 4. That's just a knowing. You don't have to think about it, analyze it, look in your body. It's a knowing. So that's what, when we understand this and we want to listen to ourselves, then that's what we're paying attention to. Those feelings of knowing, oh, yeah, that's it. And that takes some discernment. It takes some paying attention over time. Sometimes we get it right, sometimes we get it wrong. But as far as, we just learn as we go along. Oh, that wasn't quite what I thought it was, or I thought I knew it that way. Now I realize I don't. That's okay. That's part of living. Who we truly are is here to be curious, here to learn. So it's a fun, interesting place to be, is to start learning, discovering, not learning in the knowledge, pass a test way, but learning in the getting on the bike way. It's in the doing of it, the paying attention, the awareness that we start discovering and knowing. Oh, yeah, got it. That we can feel it. But it's not a feeling. It's a sense. It's a sense. It's a knowing. And it might not always feel good. So, for example, I just know I'm going to exercise almost every day. I walk almost every morning. And so sometimes it doesn't, if I've only paid attention to my feelings, like this feeling of, oh, I don't want to go today, then I might think that that's a knowing of myself that says, yeah, don't exercise. No, that's not what it is. It's conditioned response to the idea of exercising. So I don't pay attention to that, haven't for years and years and years, because I just know I'm going to exercise. No matter what those kinds of feelings, like you don't really want to do this, no matter if they show up or how they show up. Another time, so I was married for just a couple of years, and the man I married had two fairly young kids. One was like 12, one was like 7, and they lived with him, which I was excited about because I wanted kids, and yeah, I was going to have this family. I was so excited. And so we got married on a Saturday night. My sister was there. My parents were there. We were living in North Lake Tahoe. Well, I wasn't living there yet. I was still somewhere else in the country. But anyway, but I was there to get married. And then the next day, everybody went home. My friends, family, everybody left. And so now, and then the kids were back. So now it's him and the 2 kids and me, and we lived in North Lake Tahoe. And what are we doing on Sunday afternoon, the day after we get married? We're going to Costco in Reno. So we're going through Costco in Reno with the grocery cart, and all of a sudden my heart sank, and I'm going, what did I do? So if I had thought that meant something, then I might have just gone south with this. No, somehow intuitively I knew that didn't mean anything. It's emotional conditioning to this romantic idea of marriage, and I acknowledged quickly, no, I had exactly what I wanted. And I just knew this is what I wanted, and I didn't pay any attention to the emotions, the conditioning, the what ifs, that had nothing to do with it. I just knew. So that's what it means by listening to yourself. When you're one being, is you keep listening for that sense of knowing, and it just takes doing it and learning from that. So I'm going to see if there are any questions or comments about this conversation. Okay, I don't see any yet. Okay. All right, now we'll go to how to distinguish between thoughts that are conditioned and those that are not. So I said don't listen to any thoughts that are about us personally. Now, besides that knowing sense, ideas can come to us, insights can come to us, which is another form of listening to ourselves. But the feeling quality of those sorts of ideas is totally different. So we're all used to paying attention to our thoughts. So you can start paying attention to, yeah, when I pay attention to a thought that says, I don't know what I'm talking about, or great, you're doing a good job, or any of those thoughts, start paying attention to the quality of those thoughts. And then there are other ones that come out of nowhere, like, oh, I ought to go to the grocery store right now, or oh, I need to call mom, or those sorts of things. They have a different feel to them. And it's usually, it's a softer, it's a nuance, it's going to be more subtle, and it's gonna have a loving quality, or at least a neutral quality. It's not going to be judgmental. If it's judgmental at all, that's not yourself. That's conditioned thoughts return, or well, they're always here, but conditioned thoughts. So the thoughts that are um, not that are conditioned are going to feel, um, can feel that kind of a more down feeling or judgmental feeling, and then the ones that are actual ideas from the universe that is also you, that are more creative, are gonna they may even be kind of wild. I mean, different. Oh, I hadn't thought of that, or oh, that's interesting. So it's gonna have a lighter, nuanced, subtle feel, and just a more loving or neutral feel. So again, it's just about paying attention, observing over time, and then we get better and better at noticing the difference between the two. So that is another form of listening, is paying attention to those ideas that come to us. And then what's the value of listening to yourself? Again, not listening to thoughts, body, or emotions. All of that is conditioning. But instead, the value in listening, as we're talking about here today, is that we are moving more deeply into the world, becoming more intimate with the world, with ourselves, with other people in our relationships. We're going to be living more deeply what truly matters, feeling meaning and purpose and inspiration. It's a much richer, deeper, meaningful place. Recently, as long as I've been doing all of this, but recently I realized, oh my gosh, I've still been on the edge of 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 being like real close to being really in reality, intimate with reality, but I was still kind of on the edge, like more observing emotions, observing thoughts, instead of diving into the emotion, into the thought. So, so, um, so it's just a richer life, a richer experience as we learn what we're talking about today, and of course other things about who we truly are, and to live aligned with who we truly are. So the value is, the moving more deeply into the world, and then feeling more of a sense of meaning and purpose and alignment, and this sense, this knowing, yeah, this is what I'm up to in my life. Yeah, I can sense this is the direction to go in. Doesn't mean that the direction doesn't change, and can change often, but in the moment we really sense this is the direction. We're just used to, in our culture, we're supposed to have a sense of direction, and that's it for life. No, no. Maybe the direction is to go this way for a month or 6 months or 6 years, and then there's a sense, oh, something else is showing up now. Okay, let's go this direction. So it's a much more interesting, but can be challenging life. But again, as Joseph Campbell said, he thinks that when people say they want meaning and purpose in life, they want to feel fully alive. And that's what we're talking about here, feeling fully alive. So, all right, so I'm going to see again if there are any questions or comments. Okay, none. So we will come back to complete this call. So today we looked at what it means to listen to yourself when you're one being, how to distinguish between thoughts that are conditioned and those that are not, and the value of listening to yourself. Not the sense of a separate self, but yourself as the one being. And I really have a really good workshop about this. I keep designing, redesigning, trying to get better at delivering, I can deliver workshops, but delivering this material in a way that it's more meaningful, useful, valuable for people. And this latest version is really pretty good. Somebody that attended the last one said that was amazing. So I hope you'll join us. It's on July the 23rd, just to today's July the 11th. So I just posted in the Facebook group an announcement of the workshop, July 23rd. So I hope you'll join us. It's a fabulous experiential workshop where we bring this more to life in an hour and a half together. So I hope you'll join us for that. Just message me and tell me you want to attend, and I will send you the Zoom link. All right. Great being with you today.